Let's turn all this into pot roast. First thing we're gonna do is dry the meat. Removing extra water helps it brown later. Now drizzle some oil on top and rub in some black pepper all over. Just want to get this coated all around every side, nice and even everywhere. You can do a little bit of salt if you wish here, but you're gonna braise this, so it's gonna have plenty of salt in the liquid, which will absorb right into the meat and everything else as well. Once you've coated everything, we're gonna go ahead and get our pan real hot and place it in. Gonna leave that alone for about 5 minutes, flip it over. It should look like that. That's what we're looking for, is the crusty brown goodness. Next, we're gonna play with some aromatics. So the first thing you want is onion. Cut off the ends of each of them. Next, cut them in half, pole to pole, top to bottom, however you wanna call it. Then we gotta peel it off all of the outer layer there. Then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kinda just go straight across like this, as thin as possible. It's kind of a Julienne, it's kinda really rough, but we're just looking for slivers like this, and then, ta-da! Now that the roast is browned on all sides, we're gonna go ahead and set this off to the side to rest while we cook the onions. First, add some oil back to the pan and toss in our onion. Get them nice and brown, kind of like that. Yep, there we go. And once they're brown, toss in the rest of our aromatics. This is just a bunch of garlic cloves all smashed up. A little bit later, we're gonna deglaze that with some wine. Let that bubble and cook for a while. Once it's mostly dry on the bottom, we're gonna go ahead and add in tomato paste here. Stir that around, get it coated on all the veggies. Once that's coated, we're also going to add in, this is beef stock concentrate. You know what it is. I'm not going to say the brand unless they want to sponsor me. You know, hit me up, call my people. Dried herbs, mushrooms, everything in there, the flavors. We've got bay leaf, we've got parsley, we've got thyme. You can add fresh mushrooms if you want as well, but I just had some dried sitting around. Put the meat back in, cover with a lid, and stick this in the oven for a few hours. We're going to go for about 2.5 hours at 325. While we're waiting, we're gonna chop up some veg using a little bit of magic to speed the process up. Then once it's a couple hours and this is mostly falling apart, we're gonna add in our veg for the last about 90 minutes, 70 to 90 minutes, depending on the size of the vegetables. And gently place all of this in here, make sure it shifts down, cover it up. 90 minutes later, you got this right here. Potatoes are perfectly done all the way through. Nice and tender meat that shreds apart and falls apart great. Plate it up, get a little bit of everything on there, and then lastly, once everything's out of the pot, we're gonna take all of these dregs right here, drizzled on top. Now you've got a meal, simple and delicious.